Good morning and welcome to today's episode of WTVA Distance Learning, brought to you by the New Albany School District. My name is Luke Tintoni, and I have the honor and privilege of being the assistant principal at New Albany High School. Today's episode has two different segments. First of all, from the New Albany High School Science Department, some ACT science tips, followed by Miss Katelyn Robbins and Mr. Corey Killough from New Albany Middle School with some great math skills that'll help you save money while you're shopping. We hope you enjoy today's episode.
Good morning, I'm Katie Kent.
And I'm Summer Tyer, and we are teachers at New Albany High School who want to give you some money-saving tips on the ACT.
The content is actually some biology, some physics, some earth and space science like geology, astronomy, and meteorology. But the one thing that I really want to stress to you guys about the science portion of the ACT, it really isn't a lot of content knowledge, okay? It's a lot of skills that you learn in math and that you learn as you grow up through reading and language arts, okay? So what's actually on the test, it's a 40-question portion that you are allotted 35 minutes for. There are three sections or three types of questions that can be asked. One is interpretation of data, scientific investigations, and then evaluation of models and experimental results. And we're going to look at each one of these more specifically as we go. And one thing I do want to note before I keep going, you're going to see these written or explained in different ways, but I will try to reference back to these three terms or these three types of problems as we go. So if you've ever taken the ACT or if you've never taken it before, when you get to the science portion, there's a lot of reading. So every format or every science portion, every question has a different format. One is data representation. This is where you're going to look at data, look at graphs, look at charts, and you're going to have to figure out and interpret what's going on in the data. Then you have research summaries. Research summaries is scientist number one, scientist number two has done research. They both have done research on a particular thing or a particular topic. They've got completely different results, but you have to figure out whatever the questions are asking, you have to figure out which scientist or which research proposal lines up with what the question's asking. And then the last type of passage is, it's called conflicting viewpoints. I have a friend who, she tells me that when she teaches ACT practice for the science part, she calls this arguing scientist. Because what it is, you've got two scientists, sometimes three, that are completely arguing about a topic. And so it's kind of comical when you go and look at practice problems, because a lot of times two of the scientists of the three or one of the two scientists is completely wrong, but it's just scientists arguing about some specific topic. So we're going to look a little bit more in depth at this. Data representation, again, I told you it's graphs and tables. All answers in the data representation portion of the test are on the page. Don't overanalyze it. If it says to look at table 1 in the question, then you go to table 1 and you find the answer. Okay? A lot of times students have trouble focusing on just one particular table because they think, well, it's the ACT, it's got to be harder than this. No, it does not have to be harder than that. If it is a data representation question, then the answer is on the page. It's somewhere in the graph, somewhere in the table. So only look at the tables again, and the questions whatever the question's asking about, only look at that table. Okay? Don't wander. All right? Another type of question that can be found on your test again is called research summary. This is when you're going to have to compare and contrast multiple experiments. This is the one portion of the test that you actually can study a little bit for. If you've ever taken a science class, really anytime after about 5th grade, maybe even 4th grade, but for sure 5th grade and up, you learn about the scientific method. You're going to hear terms like independent variable, dependent variable, control, constants, different terms like that in the scientific method. This is where those terms are going to come into practice. So as you're looking at different scientists and what they've researched, they may ask you questions that deal with terms like independent and dependent variable. Again, an English skill is going to be pulled in here for science, where you're actually comparing and contrasting two different research experiments, okay? And then the last type of questions, or the last type of passages that you may have, are called conflicting viewpoints. Again, think of it like two scientists arguing. All right. One misconception that a lot of my students have is they'll say, this scientist said this and this scientist said that, but this one over here is wrong, so there's no way he can be the right answer. Listen to me. If they're asking you about one particular topic in science and scientist one is who said it, even if he's wrong, you need to put the answer as scientist one, okay? So don't put so much thinking and don't overthink it, okay? The conflicting viewpoint questions, the answers are going to be on the page. Again, when it asks you about science, comparing scientist one to scientist two, if scientist one is wrong, but it's what the question asks about, then you need to put scientist one is the answer. And we're going to look at these more in depth in just a minute. Okay. This right here is something that I think everybody needs to know. ACT has standards that consider you to be college and career ready. There's benchmarks. For science to be considered college and career ready, you have to score a 23 in the science category. And what this looks like, and I've got another table for you guys to look at here. What this looks like, in order to score a 23 on the science portion, you have to get 26 to 28 questions out of 40 correct in order to be considered college and career ready. Now, while that to some people may seem like not so many questions, to others it may seem like a lot. Another thing I want to point out to you, maybe I've got some athletes that are watching that want to go to the next level and play sports, or maybe you want to be in the band at the next level, or you want to do something extracurricular in college. Most schools have a baseline score of 18 in order to play at the next level or do something extracurricular at the next level. In order to score an 18 on the science portion of the ACT, if you go to this table right here, you only have to get 17 out of 40 questions correct. Okay? I'm not telling you to shoot low. I'm not telling you that at all. But 17 out of 40 questions, that's less than half of the questions that you have to get correct. And when we start looking at these practice problems, I hope that you guys are encouraged and you really do see these questions are not that difficult. There's a lot of graphs, there's a lot of tables, there's a lot of words a lot of times, but I would say 75% of the time, and I'm really 75% of the time, the answers are on the page for you, somewhere found in that graph. But we tend to get overwhelmed when we see graphs and charts and just say, oh, I don't know the answer, so let's just put an answer. So I want to encourage you, again, in order to make an 18, which is most schools' baseline score for sports or extracurricular activities, you only have to get 17 right. So here's the first practice question, and this was pulled straight from the ACT website, okay? So I did not go in and try to make it really easy to make you feel good. I pulled a question straight from the ACT practice portion, or the science portion, on ACT.com. So the question says this: in general, the results of study 1 suggest that peony seeds that are placed in a petri dish containing damp paper are most likely to germinate when they are maintained at which of the following temperatures? And you can see your choices here. Now, one thing I did do here on this particular slide that you can see, I only pulled the table for study 1. But if you don't get anything else from today, get this, okay? If the question asks you about study 1, and this question specifically asks about study 1, do not look at study 2's table or study 3's graph. Only go to study 1's table, okay? Because that's all it's asking you about. That's all you have to worry about. Don't get overwhelmed and don't try to put a bunch of information in your head. Only look at study 1's table. So let's look at study 1's table and answer this question. We want to know at which temperature are the most seeds going to germinate. And this table is laid out for us. It says the number of seeds that germinated. And if you look at these temperatures over 10 weeks, just look at the table, which temperature produced the most amount of seeds that germinated. And you will see very simply 24 is the largest number here. So at 18 degrees Celsius, that would be the temperature that the most seeds germinated. So that would be choice B here.
According to figure 1, the mass of cheese remaining at 4 hours was closest to which of the following values? ACT, time is critical. Time is critical. That is what most people will tell you the first time they take the test. Oh my goodness, I freaked out because I had X amount of time for this many problems. So just knowing something as simple as, okay, 4 hour, they measure time on the x-axis. I probably need to look at the bottom and find hour 4. Okay, so first of all, like Miss Kent said, if they tell you where to go look, that's where you go look. So it says, according to figure 1, I'm going to hit up, I'm going to find figure 1. Now, if she shrunk this down and you saw the whole page again, it can become overwhelming because look, we have a table 1 and a figure 1, and sometimes there's there's all kinds of things there, but this is labeled as figure 1, so I know that this is where I need to move to. So I look and I find my time here is the 4th hour, and what they want to know about, it says the mass of cheese remaining. So then I go up here to my key, and I'm telling you that when I teach in my biology course and I tell my students to create a graph, the main things that I take off for on those graphs are keys. A lack of keys. They haven't put a key on there, so I can't decipher their graph. Maybe I can figure it out because I knew, but I really couldn't if I didn't know anything about it. And then I have them to label the graph. So those are things that you need to be working on even as a freshman or younger. Making sure to pay attention to all those details. So I look at my key and I find cheese, so I can go to hour 4 and I can see that my answer to this is C, because that's the remaining cheese at that hour. So just focusing on that skill in that class. So like I said, that's an enzyme standard that I use in my biology class every single semester. I may not particularly say, this is an ACT skill because I teach biology, so I'm focusing a lot on that end of course exam that we are required to take. But I know coming into high school or even before high school in my middle school science classes that the ACT is something that's coming that I'm going to have to take. So I'm going to tackle them together. I'm going to learn my biology while I'm honing my ACT skills. And if you will work on those skills diligently and not just take it as a passing assignment, but think of everything as a double sword. I'm not only taking care of biology, but I'm prepping for ACT. Then you'll save a lot of time. Thank you for joining us today. We hope that these ACT tips help you to be more successful on your future endeavors with ACT.
Hey everyone, I'm Katelyn Robbins. I currently work at New Albany Middle School where I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math. I graduated from Mississippi State University where I played soccer and received a bachelor's degree in elementary education.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Killough. I am Miss Robbins' co-teacher at New Albany Middle School. This is my 6th year teaching special education. I've spent the last 5 in Hattiesburg Public Schools, but now I'm here and we co-teach math together. Now, co-teaching is where you take a general ed teacher, a special education teacher, and you put them in the same classroom where they have to work together as a team because we practice full inclusion. Our students with IEPs and disabilities are in the classroom with our general ed students. So we have to work because not everything she does works for every student. Not everything I do is appropriate for every student either. So we work together to make every one of our kids grow and show progress through the year.
In our lesson today, we're going to be talking about the unit rate. So the unit rate can be used in everyday life, like when we go grocery shopping and we're buying in bulk. So in our lesson today, we encourage you to grab a calculator, a pencil, and a sheet of paper and work these problems with us as we are explaining them and helping you solve these problems as well. All right, so let's go ahead and work out a few problems dealing with unit rate. In our first problem here, it says Bargains R Us store offers a 12-roll package of Wipey Wonder toilet paper for $2.59. The 6-roll package is on sale for $1.25. What's going to be the better buy here? So the first thing we want to do is we want to say money divided by our items. Okay, now in this case, we have a 12-roll package of toilet paper for $2.59. So $2.59 is going to go at the top of our fraction, and the bottom of our fraction is going to be 12. Now, when I put $2.59 divided by 12 in my calculator, I get a decimal of 0.2158, and then 3 is repeating. Okay, now since we're working with money here, we only have 2 decimal places. So we're going to have to look at that third decimal place and see if we're going to round up or stay the same. So in this case, we have 0.215. That 5 is going to make that 1 round up to 22. So we've got 22 cents for our 12-pack of toilet roll paper. Now let's look at our 6-roll package. So we have $1.25 for 6 rolls of toilet paper. Now, when I put that in my calculator, I get 0.2083 repeating. Okay, so we've got 0.203. So we've got to make that 8 round up. So we're going to say that that is 21 cents. Okay, so now I'm comparing my two items. My 12 pack is 22 cents per item, and then my 6 roll pack is 21 cents per item. So the better buy here is going to be my 6 roll package because it is cheaper by 1 cent.
All right, guys, we're on our do-it-yourself problem. So grab a piece of paper, a pencil, a calculator right quick, and let's look at this problem. Walmart sells a case of 24 cans of Diet Coke for $6.88. Kroger sells a 12-pack of Diet Coke for $3.99. Which is the best buy? Take a few seconds and put these in your calculator. All right, guys, let's look at these problems. Let's look at the first one. I've got a 24-pack at Walmart that cost me $6.88. I'm going to divide $6.88 by 24, and I get 0.286 repeating. So I'm going to look this, and because, again, we're dealing with money, we're going to stop in the hundredths place and look at that 8. When I look behind it, 6 tells it round up. So if I go to Walmart, I'm going to pay 29 cents a can. Now let's compare it to Kroger's price. Kroger sells a 12-pack for $3.99. So I'm going to say $3.99 divided by 12 gives me 0.3325. Again, I'm stopping in the hundredths place. I look behind it. 2 says stay where I'm at. So if I go to Kroger, I'm paying 33 cents for 1 can.
In our next problem here, we're going to be comparing dish soap. So a 12-ounce bottle of clean green dish soap is $1.09, while a 20-ounce bottle costs $1.99. We want to know what's going to be the better buy here. So we're going to set it up the same way we did before. So we're going to say our money divided by the number of ounces that we have. Okay, for my 12-ounce, I've got $1.09 divided by 12. That's going to give me a decimal of 0.09083 repeating. Okay, so remember, we're still working with 2 decimal places. So this 0 in the thousandths place is going to let me know that that 9 in the hundredths place is going to stay the same. So for my 12 pack, I'm going to have 9 cents per ounce that I'm working with. Now let's go ahead and look at the 20-ounce bottle. So we've got $1.99 for a 20-ounce bottle. When I put that in my calculator, it's going to give me a decimal of 0.995. Hold on, I messed that up. 0.0995. Okay, so I've got to look at my 2 decimal places. That 9 is going to actually round up and make this 10 cents. So my 20-ounce bottle is 10 cents per ounce, and my 12-ounce bottle is 9 cents per ounce. So the better buy in this case is going to be my 12-ounce bottle. Now, using this in everyday life is really important because when you go to the grocery store and you want to get the best product for the cheaper price, you've got to know how much you're paying per item or per ounce. So this just helps you kind of see how you would use this in everyday life and how we use math in everyday life. Now we're going to work out another problem, and you're going to try it out yourself with Mr. Killough.
All right, guys, take a minute and look at this problem. It says a 12-ounce box of Thanksgiving stuffing is $2.15, while a 16-ounce box costs $2.88. Which is the better buy? So we're going to be comparing $2.15 divided by 12 ounces, which is going to give me 0.17916 repeating. Now, when I go to the grocery store and they ring this up, I don't get a decimal that's 5 digits long. We stop again in the hundredths position, which is a 7, and look behind it. and that 9 tells me to round up. So if I get the 12-ounce box, I'm going to spend 18 cents per ounce. Let's compare to the 16-ounce box. The 16-ounce box cost $2.88. When I say $2.88 divided by 16, I get an exact 18 cents per ounce. So if I look at this problem, I get 18 cents per ounce either way. So I guess this one, the better buy, depends on, do you need 12 ounces of stuffing or 16? How big's your family?
Let's look at another problem here. We've got a 16-ounce can of creamy corn sells for $1.09, while the 32-ounce can is on sale for $1.89. How much would you save with this sale price? So we're going to use unit rate again here, saying our money divided by our ounces that we have. So my 16-ounce can was $1.09, so we're going to say 1.09 divided by 16, and that's going to give me a decimal of 0.068125. Let's look at our hundredths place. We know that we need to round up because we have an 8 in the thousandths place. So I'm getting 7 cents per ounce in my 16-ounce can that I have. Now when we work with the 32-ounce, we've got that as $1.89 divided by 32. And that's going to give me a decimal of 0.059065. Okay, let's look at our hundredths place. We have a 5. Then our thousandths place, we have a 9. So that's actually going to round up to 6 cents. So if you look, our 16-ounce can was 7 ounces, or 7 cents per ounces, and then our 32-ounce can was 6 cents per ounces. So we're actually saving money here buying the 32-ounce can for by 1 cent. So the better buy in this case would be our 32-ounce can, and we're saving 1 cent.
All right, last problem, guys. We're going to compare one more problem for you to do yourself. I'm going to read the problem. An 11-pound turkey costs $15, while the 16-pound turkey is on sale for $20. How much would you save with the sale price? So we're going to compare. If I look at my 11-pound turkey, it costs $15. So I'm going to say $15 divided by 11, which gives me $1.36 per pound. Now we're going to look at our larger turkey. If I buy the 16-pound turkey, it costs $20. So I say 20 divided by 16, and that gives me $1.25 a pound. So if I go into the store, I'm going to pick that 20-pound turkey because I'm paying less per pound. And when I finally answer my question, it says, how much do I save with the sale price? I save an average of 11 cents per pound.
So I know right now that we're not in school, but that doesn't mean that we still can't use math skills in everyday life. For example, like in our lesson today, we talked about the unit rate and figuring out what's the best buy when we go to the grocery store, when we're shopping online, any of those things that we use math every day in life for.
All right, guys, so take this opportunity to keep those math skills sharp. If you go out with your parents to the grocery shop or you're online shopping, take what you've learned, help your parents find better deals, help out in this time when we all need a little something extra.
This is my first year at New Albany, and so far I have nothing negative to say. I love it here so much. We really have every resource you can possibly think of. Our kids are one-to-one on iPads. The teachers have MacBooks. We have iPads. The technology just enhances my classroom and makes it even better.
We're not afraid to innovate. We will do something and know there's a risk involved, but we know if it pays off for the students.
I love the support we have here. I have the autonomy to do whatever I want with my kids in my classroom, and it's really, really awesome to see my administrators come in and be so supportive of things that you wouldn't typically see in a normal high school classroom. So I do a lot of small groups, and I pull kids 4 and 5 at a time, and my administrators have come in and it works really well for me, and they're so supportive of that.
And not just that, but the speed of which things happen. Like when I need something, there's a conversation, we bounce back and forth about should we do this, should we do that? But then once there's a decision made, it's not this long drawn out process. It happens almost immediately. Surprisingly how quick things happen. When I need something, I usually get it, and I usually get it really quickly.
And I'm not treated professionally just by the administration, but our kids really respect us and look up to us and admire us, and I can feel that from them, and that's awesome.
And not necessarily just the internet, which is really, really fast. I mean, there's been times where I have literally driven up here from home because I knew if I tried to upload this video at home, it's going to take all night.
No kid here is not cool. Everybody's cool. To be in our fine arts program, which is incredible. It's awesome being in the band. It's awesome being on the journalism staff. It's cool to be a football player. It's cool to be a cheerleader. There's nothing here that we don't have. And that was really important to me when looking at coming to this district, because I had to think into the future for my child. Whatever he wants to be, we've got that here. And that was really important to me. If you're a competitive, relatable, outside of the box thinking kind of teacher, and you are talented in your field and you love what you do, you will absolutely love it here.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the lessons brought to you by the faculty of New Albany School District. Be sure to visit our website at www.nasd.ms. And to all of our students at New Albany High School, if nobody's told you they love you today, you better know that I do, because it's a great day to be a Bulldog.